Well, we have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 20 minutes if you spend your time with me. You can also get interactive with us. We are live on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. Let's begin from here. He was not only a man of God, but also an innovator, industrialist, agriculturalist, and a philanthropist. His life revolved around serving his country and the less privileged. Millions of Ghanaians around the world are mourning the loss of Apostle Engineer Safo Kantanka, who has died at the age of 77.
A statement from the Safo family and the Christo Safo Church said Apostle Dr. Safo died on Thursday, September 11, 2025. The family described him as a true genius, a beacon of hope for many, and a father to the fatherless. The statement signed by his daughter and former MP for Dome Kwabenya, Sarah Safo, noted that funeral arrangements would be announced in due course. Apostle Safo was known for advancing indigenous innovation through his Kantanka brand. He founded the Christo Safo mission in 1969, and in 1971, the mission became an African-initiated church, later expanding into manufacturing electronics, agricultural tools, and automobiles. Apostle Dr. Safo was a trailblazer in Ghana's industrial and technological space, nicknamed the Star of Africa. He founded the Great Kosa network of companies and was the chairman of the Kantanka group of companies. His church operates large farms, growing a variety of crops which, when harvested, are donated to hospitals, schools, and other institutions. Meanwhile, tributes have been pouring in for the late Apostle Dr. Safo. Former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said he served Ghana beyond the capacity of religious leader. The Movement for Change, in a statement signed by a spokesperson, Solomon Wusu, said that through his forthright leadership and generous philanthropy, Apostle Safo transformed countless lives and lifted many out of poverty. His family has meanwhile appealed to the public to respect the privacy of the family during this period of mourning.
Meanwhile, families, loved ones, church members have been visiting his official residence at Taifa to show solidarity. The leader of the Christo Safo mission died at the age of 77. Well, this is the official residence of Apostle Dr. Safo Kantanka, and as you can see, there are people here gathered just to show solidarity to the leader. He actually lived on air for 77 years, and Christo Safo mission was established in 1960. So people here are here in the numbers to really show some solidarity to their leader. I don't know if there's something going to happen today, and clearly everyone is tight. They don't need to say a word. And this, of course, is a form of showing some sort of respect to the leader. And you can call him a farmer, you can call him a philanthropist, you can call him an industrialist, just name it. He actually even had a farm that had harvest, produce given to the orphanage. So this is how the scene looks like here at the official residence of Apostle Dr. Safo Kantanka. We'll also follow up on the arrangement for this very leader and surely furnish you updates in our subsequent bulletins. Josh Crane, TV3 News, Taifa, Accra. Well, in more news this morning, a former General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana, Reverend Dr. Kwabena Punifrimpon, has lauded the contributions of the late Apostle Safo. The Chief Executive Officer of the Alliance for Christian Advocacy Africa also praised the late apostle not only for his impact on Christianity, but also for his significant role in the growth and development of Ghana.
The demise of Apostle Safo is a blow to Christianity in this country. He sent Christian leadership into a more holistic dimension. A man of God, but he was like you said earlier on in this story, he was into agriculture, he was into engineering, he was into philanthropy. And then he had a very strong philosophy for Ghanaians and Africa, that we must build our confidence as a people, that whatever Obroni has been able to do, a white person has done, will be needed to me, and yet black person can do that. And that, I think he lived his dream. He was passionate about the fact that we must build the African self-confidence. He has played a unique role. He's already being studied in Christian theological seminaries and other academic circles. But I strongly believe we have a long way to go to understand the real, we call it theology and philosophy of Apostle Safo. And I'm saying that our love and prayers are with his church and his family. His legacy definitely will live on.
So those were the founders' memories shared by Dr. Opuni, Apostle Opuni, and also you can share with us your tribute on Facebook. It's TV3 Ghana, and hopefully we read them and share them to the rest of the world. It is a peak onion harvest season and a month from Ampiam in the eastern region, but instead of profit, onion farmers are staring at what is likely to be losses. As prices crash and demand dries up, tons of onions risk rotting away in the field. Eastern Regional Correspondent Yvonne Nikwe reports on a crisis growing as fast as the crops.
Last year, this bag of onion cost 1,500 Ghana cedis, but this year, it's going for 600 cedis, a shortfall of over 900 cedis, a loss to the onion farmers here at Kwewu Mpem Amanfrom in the Kwewu South municipality.
For years, onion farming has been the lifeblood of Amanfrom Mpem residents in the Kwewu South municipality. Since settling here from the Akosombo Dam area, generations of farmers have worked these fields, supporting families and employing hundreds of local farm hands. But this season, hope is turning into heartbreak. Farmers here are now staring at potential devastating losses. A bag of onions that sold for 1,000 cedis last season now goes for as little as 600 cedis, and even that, buyers are scarce. With prices plummeting and demand sharply down, large quantities of onions may rot in farms. There are no storage places. Farmers say they are already losing money every day. They blame the situation partly on the influx of cheaper onion imports from neighboring countries, which they say are flooding the market and undercutting local produce. They are calling on the government to intervene urgently.
It is not the best. This is a terrible season for us.
We have
worked hard this year, but the market women tells us that the loads of truck of onions from neighboring countries such as Nigeria and Niger is what is causing them not to buy our own.
Beyond pricing, the farmers are also grappling with other long-standing challenges. Without electricity, many depend on expensive diesel-powered irrigation. Government needs to intervene in a form of electricity. We'll be able to work and have return on investment. Imagine buying 10 drums of diesel for irrigation, and at the end of the day, you do not have people buying. That is a huge debt to us. Poor roads make transporting their harvest to market even harder. Our roads are bad. Because of that, the market women who travel here do not price our onion bags well. The ripple effect has been felt across the onion value chain, from farm hands to transporters and market sellers.
Because oxygen no bag, na say 10 cedis na obejina okoko drudwem na yento.
During peak seasons, we can sow a bag of onion between 10 cedi to 20 cedis, and then sow as much as 20 bags of onion. But now, we can only sow just a few for a day.
Also, at the end of the day, no benyabi. But the man didn't honey be a day we share 10. Say 7 cedis. Also, we nyabibia.
I come all the way from Wale Wale. I'm paid on commission basis. If I work for less, I cannot get enough to feed my family back home.
And since we say a man per Nigeria didn't say we, a man to free and China.
Because of the exchange rate value between the Ghana cedi and the naira of the Nigerians, the market women prefer buying from the Nigerians because they get more profit from that. As onions lie unsold in the fields of Amount from Impime, the farmers' message is clear. They don't want handouts, they want fair conditions to survive. I have 25 acres of land, but the demands are not coming. This is because the onions from neighboring countries are on our markets. The market women are not buying from us. If this happens, I cannot pay back the loan I took from the bank.
And they are at the end of their best. So this is the time for government to come in.
Government's 24-hour economy project. This place is ripe. It's ready. They don't even have to do much.
Sustainable Development Goal 2 urges government to support sustainable agriculture and ensure fair access to land, technology, and markets.
On the average, between 60 and 80 bags of onions are harvested on an acre of land. Here at Kwewu Impem, amount from over 1,500 acres of land are used in cultivating the onions. 1,200 farmhands are engaged to work here. But if the demands get low continuously, people might not get direct labor or work to do. It means unemployment crisis would occur here. But if government is seeking to invest in agriculture, especially under its growth policy for the 24-hour economy, this area is one of such investment it should be looking out for.
And that was our East Region correspondent Yvonne Ikwe bringing us that extensive report on the impact in that very area. And if you just tune in, this is the morning news, the first bulletin of the day on TV3. And now some Ghanaian refugees who fled conflict at Gbenyere in the Savannah region say they fear a return to their homes. This despite latest government assurances security has been beefed up with facilitation underway for their return.
Thousands over the last 3 weeks fled the Sola Tuna Kalba districts for fear of their lives as dispute over a small parcel of land claimed over 30 lives. The over 13,000 have taken refuge in camps inside neighbors Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso, where food and hygienic conditions have become a difficulty. With ongoing efforts at mediation, Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa headed to one of the settlements inside Vonkoro, Ivory Coast. Addressing the gathering after meeting with chiefs and Ivorian security officials, the minister apologized to the refugees for the inconvenience brought upon them.
We are here to empathize, to apologize to you all for what you have gone through. We regret the disturbances, and we know that you are in distress. You've left your homes, you've left your farms, you've left your property. Some of you have lost your relatives. We take full responsibility, and we want to really convey our regrets. This should never have happened, and we are going to make sure that it does not happen again.
He assured a return is safer with security deployed and 6 million CFA francs donated to facilitate their return.
We want to encourage all of you to return. President Mahama, as Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, has put in place a number of measures. There's been massive security deployment. Camps have been established. A committee has been set up to mediate between the traditional leaders on all sides, and calm has been restored. So I'm here to deliver a message to you from the president that it is time to go back. Don't be scared. You will meet adequate security. You will be safe. So we encourage you to go back.
But for the settlers, a return would be difficult.
Now that the Foreign Affairs Minister is asking us to go back, and the security is only based in Boleton, how safe are we going to be? To me, I still believe that there is some kind of fear that still impounded on us.
They make people say I buy on head na yan san coffee there, but they suro say make coffee, suro pa
Many here are farmers and herdsmen as well. So if, let's say, the security are based in town, how do you go to farm to, harvest your farm crops or your farm product that are spoiling in the farm? So that's our worries now.
Ivorian authorities, meanwhile, have urged patience in repatriating the Ghanaians. Mediation is ongoing. Government assurance of safety rings loud, but for many of these settlers, a lot more than these is needed to guarantee their return. Mawina Egbeta, Voncron, La Côte d'Ivoire.
And right here in Ghana, the audiovisual unit under the Information Services Department, which has documented some of the most important events in Ghana's journey, even from pre-independence era, is in a sorry state. With decaying archives, exposed wires and outdated equipment, the iconic unit is slowly fading away with time. Christian Yale visited the place and now reports on this hidden treasure.
From the files there, I see a lot of...
Here lies a national treasure that is barely surviving, yet undeniably rich. The audiovisual unit of the Information Services Department is one of Ghana's most important but least celebrated institutions. It is the visual memory of Ghana, grainy footage of independence struggles, historic addresses by Kwame Nkrumah, state visit, cultural festivals, and decades of presidential activities.
It has all the information that you need to know, the pictures, the visuals, all the archives. These are information that date back to even pre-colonial days. So activities of former president, the late Rawlings, John Adjekum Kufuor are all here. And it is quite interesting to know that when you get here, you get more of information about other past, president or heads of state. People, tourists from all over the place come to get most information concerning this country from. And so you see all of these files are files that are dating back to the ages, decades ago. You see this particular one here, which gives you a lot of information.
But much of this history is quite literally falling apart. From deteriorating film reels to faded photographs, time is taking its toll on them.
I can see President Kufuor's name. Atamils is down there, and then some of the boxes that are labeled, but we don't understand the labeling here.
Anniversary celebrations, the traditional celebrations, they are all here.
Outdated machinery sit idle, and there is danger.
I just want you to run me through quickly your major challenges at this place.
Thank you. The major challenge we have here is we don't have backup of all that we have here. You see, look at the place, need to be renovated. So we actually want to digitize all that we have. So we need somebody to come and sponsor and give us equipment and other things that will enable us to computerize all this we have from pre-colonial to date. So if we're not able to have a backup of this and there is a fire outbreak or something happened, that means that we've lost all the history of Ghana from pre-colonial, pre-independence to date.
Okay. Despite its condition, the unit still attracts foreign researchers, students and historians from across the globe, drawn by the sheer historical value of its archives.
Because it's like a research center for most of the students, university students from even outside, came here for a research work and to be able to help them.
Leadership and members of the Information and Communications Committee of Parliament visited the facility and were visibly shaken by what they saw.
I'll probably rate the RTI office as the good. Then the bad will probably be the media room that we went to. And the ugly will be the archives and the library. That's my classification. See us as an ally, and then we'll make sure that all the funds that you deserve to be able to properly stand on your feet, we'll push, to get these funds to be able to operate as a professional institution.
I was particularly saddened when I entered into the audiovisuals department. That is a very important division of this department that holds the National Archives. We will be exiting at some point, but we will have our children and grandchildren yet unborn who will come after us, what are they going to see about us? To say that, oh, okay, this is how they lived and this is what they left us, if we are not leaving those legacies for them. We would have failed as a nation. Why would we leave it to rot?
We haven't had any form of serious renovations or infrastructure development when it comes to infrastructural works. We began a process of a retooling process that has been positive in some ways. You saw it when we went to some of the divisions, but we are lacking in about 70% of it. But you'll be sitting in a dilapidated office, and we all know how it affects productivity. And so we're hoping that moving from this very august visit that you have paid to us, we'll be able to move on, and then the next time we meet, it will be a far improvement from what we have done.
In a world moving rapidly toward digital memory, Ghana's audiovisual legacy remains trapped in time, crying for rescue. The committee has pledged to help revamp the unit, but until that help arrives, the unit stands as both a museum and a cautionary tale, a testament to Ghana's rich past and a warning of what can be lost if we fail to act. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, Christian Yale has painted a sorry state of the facility. If you've been there personally, if you're privy to it, let's know what you make of this very facility. Engage us on Facebook as TV3 On that sorry note, we end the morning news. More news update, just log on to our website. It's 3news.com. Alternatively, you can also follow us on Instagram. It's TV3.gh. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. Thanks for watching. Good morning.
my knees I wrote this for. All of my peeps are looking for more. Nevertheless, some of the boys they do for Sakawa things, but dear Lord. Hello, good morning, and welcome to another edition of A New Day here on TV3. Kwame Ametepe Chikata, manifest like we all love to call him, starting the week with us with that wonderful song with the music legend of Brafo. No shortcuts to heaven is the message this week. Sometimes it takes a long time, it's a long road, it's a lot of patience, dedication, and you're going to get there eventually, no matter how long it takes. Thank you so much for staying with the best all the time here on TV3. I'm Joseph Akable. Welcome to another edition of New Day. There's a lot to do, there's a lot to talk about today, a lot on the plate. We'll look at issues concerning the new Patriotic Party. We know that the party, the race towards its flag bearer election is heating up quite closely, but it seems to be one controversy after the other, mainly centering around what accounted for the party's performance in the December 2024 elections. But even before we get into the politics and that particular conversation, we'll start off in Côte d'Ivoire, where our colleague Mawena Egbeta has been spending some time with the foreign minister who has visited the individuals who were displaced as a result of the Gbenyiri conflicts and have been forced to seek shelter in that part of the country and outside the country, I must say, in Côte d'Ivoire. And the main challenge now is that the minister says, look, Ghana is safe, come back to the country, but the individuals there are not particularly convinced. Some of them spoke directly to us and said that they are still scared and they are not confident that it will be safe when they get back to the country. We are going to do that story, bring you back that particular story from Mawena in Côte d'Ivoire. We're also going to hear from our colleague Christopher Mwaku, who has been covering the story extensively in the Savannah region, and get a sense of what the situation is looking in the area, whether the fears of these individuals have a basis, particularly because of the assurance from the minister that, well, the place is safe and they can come over when they want to. And so those are the two matters that we'll be tackling on Big Issue a lot later. There'll also be sports, where we'll bring you the very updates from the World Athletics Championship. There's also talk about the various leagues that resumed. We know that the Manchester Derby, Manchester United, unfortunately lost. Sorry to all the Manchester United fans. I mean, you didn't expect to beat City, did you? Well, so that's fine. We'll give you all those highlights over there. And beyond that too, we have a bit of a special interview that is coming up with Samuel Atachia, a former member of parliament. He's also a legal practitioner and a member of the New Patriotic Party. We know that he's involved in the first major Operation Recover or Loot trial that is currently ongoing, involving the former boss of the National Signals Bureau. So we'll have an interview with him. We'll discuss that particular case in some detail, not in a prejudicial manner, but generally how things are playing out there, and also talk generally about the NPP's rebuilding issues and the concerns that are coming up quite strongly. But before all of that, also we'll have the This Morning segment where you have the opportunity to call into the show, and that's where we start the show from this morning. And the conversation will be issues surrounding the unfortunate death of a Ghanaian innovator, a religious leader, an agriculturalist, someone who was committed to Pan-African values, Apostle Dr. Kojo Safo. What are your fondest memories of him? When we come back, I'll share my own memories of him with you. This is New Day here on TV3. Stay tuned in. So we're starting this morning the segment with the unfortunate death of Apostle Dr. Kojo Safo, and this is an opportunity for you to call into the show, just share your own thoughts with us regarding this particular development. Any kind words you have to share with the family, you can call in and share that. And I mean, I must say that, I mean, Apostle Dr. Kojo Safo was one very, very identifiable character in the religious space here in Ghana. He's one that transcended beyond religion to become an icon of invention or African development by way of technology. And my memories of him goes way back. I mean, I never encountered him personally, but I just remember that famous theme song, Onyamesha or My Ghana, that song that was always playing. And the event that took place every December, it was a display of the items that he's been able to come up with and some of his technological advancements. I mean, it always, once a while, as and when, created a bit of disagreement here and there, but he was quite a figure that we all could identify and relate to. And that is how come we are choosing to celebrate him this morning. I have a first caller on the line, Alhaji. Alhaji, good morning. Where are you calling from?
Joseph, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, Alhaji.
This is Alhaji in Europe Challenge. Once Kukuchi and my friend ruler, they Sarah. Let me send my greetings to Shamima Muslim and Alhaji Alatan and Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Debra, and Chairman Professor Ampofu and Nana Oyiba Bawku. We love our great man, Safo Kantanka. I think our patience. If we love these great people in the country, do you think we can have that type of people in this country? But he did not die yet, and some people started killing him. I don't know what measures can we put, and that's it. Because sometimes you see somebody writing things in somewhere, in social media. If it's true, unless we publish it before you know that person is that. In our local language, so we just want to pray for Safo contact. Thank you very much.
Okay, Alhaji, thank you very much for calling us. You can also call in and share your views with us. And over the weekend, there's a paper I came across that discusses the convergence between religion and science. More often than not, there are people who hold the traditional view that the two do not commingle, but we know that modern discussions generally link towards the fact that the two converge at a certain point. And the paper discusses the Christo Safo ministry and how Apostle Kojo Safo Kantanka merged those two. Here was a religious leader who had developed a church that believed quite strongly in helping people. And we know that he was also into the agricultural sector where he was growing various crops. His farms were being used to feed individuals who belonged to various orphanages operated by the church and also help members of the church. Then there was the whole scientific angle to it, the technological aspect where he was making television sets, he was making cars, he was making a whole host of other household items. And that merger is one thing that fascinated researchers, and that paper discusses that in so much detail. We have another caller joining us on the line. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you are calling from?
Michael Ablekuma.
Okay, Michael, thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
I'm calling from Ablekuma.
Yes, Michael, go ahead. I heard you.
Can I speak down?
My guy is only what I can use to buy king fish. I can't go beyond that.
Akabli.
Yes.
Akabli. Hello.
Yes, Michael. I think you should turn down the volume of your set so that we can hear you. Okay, unfortunately we lost Michael there, but no, my guy is not at that level yet. But yeah, we'll get there. But yes, we're celebrating the man, Apostle Dr. Kojo Safo, and like I did indicate, it was one thing that fascinated researchers, the merger that he did with religion on one hand, then with the technological aspect, and beyond all of that was the whole Pan-Africanism adventure that he pushed across forcefully. I mean, he had always said that he does not see why certain things are beyond the ability of the African. He was a strong believer that the African can do a lot of different things. And we know that he had a whole industry up and going. There is cars that we see on the roads for us. And so it was a very unique place that he has occupied for so many years. And I can barely remember any African or Ghanaian that I could comfortably put in that particular category, as in attempting, doing all that he can to produce something with his hands at that particular level. None comes to mind in terms of in the area of transportation and other household items. We have Idris on the line. Good morning, Idris.
Good morning, Akabile. How are you?
I'm very well.
Yes, I'm calling you from Upper West region. Wow.
Greetings to the people of Wa.
Yes, I'm from the 24 Lana. Akabile said good morning to the entity regional chairman in the Upper West region. Chairman Abdulaziz White is a very strong young man. He doesn't joke with the rest of the New Patriotic Party. What I will say about our great man that have gone yesterday, Safo Kantanka, we say we have lost one of the great men in Ghana. We all know the impact of this man in this country, our great science and church issues, you understand. But my worry is that once the man has gone, who is going to replace him under his company? These are issues that we have to be thinking about. We all know that this man is very interested in engineering part. Is that not it?
Yeah.
Currently, as we are speaking, if you go to the Ghana Motors industry, you'll find cars about this man, Kantanka car. Is that not it? Since 1992 up to date, is fully the one that has been producing for us. Are we sure that can we get somebody to create him? That is the most important thing we have to be expecting. And secondly, Akabila, about our party, the New Patriotic Party, the issue of our presidential issue. And I always say every day when I get the opportunity, we have nobody who can take over the party without allowing Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And we have something that our people who know before us say that the Nyamiyasan and Wachlan Dada, as I'm not at Akabila. Whether we like it or not, but if I like Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is going to win the panel? But my worry is how our leaders are speaking to each other. That is not the best way. Some of them that are saying that they are having money, It's because of this party. You see the people that are like Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, very nice man. You understand? So I would beg them that we have to come together so that our party will be unity for 2028 election. We may know that this is going to get better, but for the past 2 weeks, you all see what the dollar is doing. You see how fuel is rising up. You know the utility tariff that is coming to it, almost 260% actually. Where are we moving now? Where are we moving? Without entity, there is no Ghana. I want everybody to be aware of that. Without entity, there is no Ghana. But I will just end it here for people to come. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling us this morning, there, Idris. You ended up merging two issues, picking one of our topics from later on and commenting on it. You can also call in and still engage us here, but the conversation really is around Apostle Dr. Kojo Safo, and we are celebrating him. We lost him over the weekend. In fact, there are suggestions that it may have happened around Thursday, but all those are matters that eventually the family will bring some clarity on. But he's a figure that we all grew up knowing. And I think a point that Idris makes that I think is very important is about the possibility. That's what we are all hoping, that there was a certain level of technological transfer that took place from those who worked quite closely with him. Else there's the risk that we always see happening with all great industrialists. If that transition is not done properly, you may end up losing that particular aspect of our national life. Michael is calling from Legon. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning. Atable.
Yes, Michael.
Yeah, Atable. Kenyan say morning line of Johnnie Hughes. Wonu loko about le. Nyeha wa ke meme ibaba no alu ibano. Hello.
Okay, I understand. We mostly do that. Okay, so I guess you're asking. You said you're asking for updates with regards to whether Johnnie is biting or not. I mean, we usually do that. And sorry if it's not been in a manner that satisfies you, but we'll work on that. The production team will work on that. Yeah.
So please work on that.
That's fine.
Is it coming on this morning?
We'll have to. We'll update you on that. Don't worry. We'll update you on that,
okay,
Michael.
Please update us. Okay.
Yes, we'll do that, Michael.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Michael there. You can still call into the show and share your views with us. Some messages are already coming through on the console. This one here from Guy G. Okay, this is a very long one. You said that you are starting to learn of the passing of Apostle Dr. Kojo Safo, a true titan of Ghanaian innovation and visionary leader. He was one of the great industrial pioneers this nation has ever known. I have always believed profoundly in his work and had hoped our nation could provide the strategic support necessary to propel his inventions onto the global stage. While we may regret past opportunities, the monumental legacy he leaves behind will forever serve as our inspiration. And that is coming from Guy G over there. And you are actually sharing that message that is actually from Kennedy Ohine Japan. And so that is Kennedy Ohine Japan's tribute that you are sharing there. And this one is from our colleague Mawene Egbeta, who I said will later join us with a report from the Benyiri era, the Benyiri situation that has resulted in people moving to Cote d'Ivoire. And you say that we'll always remember him for his impact on my personal life. I schooled at Apostle Safo School of Arts and Sciences for my basic education. My English teacher, who had great impact on my life, Mr. Kankam, was a member of his church. May he find rest in the bosom of the Lord. And that is coming from Mawena Egbeta there. A very interesting message there. And that is the impact that we are talking about beyond the confines of the church to the aspect of education that is also coming through quite strongly. We have another caller on the line from Wale Wale, I guess. Your name, please. Good morning.
This is Sani. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I hope you're also fine.
I'm terrific. Yes.
Great.
Yes. I just also want to add my voice to the family. I wish that may God have mercy on the life of that pastor. In fact, he did well, making sure that he was able to manufacture things. That is innovation. He innovated a lot of things like cars and farming implements and all that. And so I think he did well. But Ghana could have supported the man more, especially the NPP type. Because this man, whether we like it or not, even though he was not publicly supporting the party, but he was a member of the party. And there was a time that he needed the party's support the most. Do you understand? So, but they refused to do so. In fact, they could have helped him to produce his vehicles on large scales. Do you understand? To export. That's what South Africa did. And then a lot of African countries that are able to excel in technology. That's what the government did to help the people. But in people, they failed to do so. So I think that they didn't do well at all. And if you look at his philanthropic nature, he tried to have a farm. When he harvests, you use it to support a lot of people. My question is, what happens to his factory? What happens to his benevolent work and all that? Who will continue from that? I think that is my worry. But he has played his part, and then I want to pray that God forgive him wherever he finds himself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling. And you made reference to the New Patriotic Party. This is what the former vice president and one of the aspiring flag bearers had to say, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He says that I've received with deep sadness the news of the passing of Apostle Dr. Kojo Safo Kantanka, a pioneering Ghanaian innovator and a founder and leader of the Christo Asafo mission. Apostle Safo served Ghana beyond the capacity of religious leader. He led indigenous innovations and forcefully inspired an industrial spirit amongst Ghanaians. He was also dedicated to improving the lives of the less privileged in society, as witnessed in his celebrated numerous philanthropic endeavors. As a religious leader, his open arms received me. Anytime I called on him, I departed his presence with lasting words of encouragement and wisdom. On behalf of my family, I extend my heartfelt condolence to his family, the Christo Asafo mission, and all who mourn for this irreparable loss. May his legacy continue to endure and inspire future generations to believe in our domestic solutions, serve their communities, and put Ghana first. And that is it by way of this segment of the show this morning. We'll be right back. We are crossing over to the 3FM studio now for Johnny's Bite, and I'm sure Idris, you'll be happy this time around.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Monday, the 15th of September. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Here begins our sermon. Let me say a good morning to Sonar Fashions in Tamale for my outfit this morning, and to announce to you that if you call him on 0246 590 162, that's 0246 590 162, you get a good deal and you get something very, very nice to you. Also, a very good morning to Auntie Adole Brown of the Ruby Joe Educational Center. Good morning to you, Mom. And a good morning to Reverend Father Emmanuel Sylvester Fenny, Mr. Ebo Abba of Coca-Cola. And speaking of Coca-Cola, I want to say a very, very big congratulations to Peter Justice Gariba. I've been reading the articles. It's been making a lot of waves and it's been talking a lot of sense. And I want to congratulate him, because in this country, many people trade their conscience for the wrong reasons. So I want to celebrate him. And speaking of celebration, yesterday I met a very, very intelligent chief, Robert Coleman. Good morning to you. Very, very intelligent chief. I haven't seen that in a long while, because as I mentioned yesterday, most of the people are in the frame, so they cannot see the bigger picture. But he, fortunately, is one of the leading lights who has seen the bigger picture. And yesterday we spoke at length about his community. We spoke at length about the gas state. We spoke at length about things that are going to be instrumental to our development. And I will say this in Ghana. At the appropriate time, I shall mention him to you and explain why I'm saying these things about him. But I shall freeze his name for today and let you know in good time. Now, this morning, let's talk about 3FM Afro Connect, if you have not heard about it. It's happening on the 22nd of September. It's Monday, 2025, at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. There's going to be the Jollof War, there's going to be a Sajifo night concert, there's going to be the Afro Connect, there's going to be everything that you desire for a good holiday to enjoy yourself fully. And for only 100 Ghana, you get to enjoy a full bouquet of activities and a musical jam. You know, Trigmatic will be there performing with other great artists who will be there. You know, when Trigmatic mounts the stage, oh, that day Trigmatic has to sing Mutro Mojo. I'm telling you, you will love that jam. And it's going to be exciting. The only way you can get access to the place, unfettered access, is to dial *725 *2226 hash, *725 *2226 hash, and then you get a chance to be in there and to enjoy yourself. Now, yesterday, somebody sent a photo to me. See the people hanging on the container on the Abuboya. And these things happen. I've been talking about these things for so long. So long. And yesterday somebody sent me, look at it, the nuisance on, I'm told is the Medina Denta Road. Somebody was, look at them. So they are transporting this container or this kiosk on an Aboboya, and the two of them are hanging on to it like nobody's business. And they drove past security people. So you ask yourself, what exactly is going on? I'm not taking a dig at the security people. I'm just saying that when they see some of these things, they should not overlook them. Because yesterday, the person was very worried when they sent it to me. I said, okay, this is what we have become. But is this good for us? It's a question to ask. This is what we have become, but is it good for us? Is this the best image we want to paint of ourselves? It is certainly not the best image we want to paint of ourselves. So we have to desist from these things and stop letting people endanger their lives in ways that they themselves have not properly thought about. Not good. Not good. That past week, we also lost a great industrialist. A very, very great industrialist, a mighty oak, a great tree, and he's gone to rest. We wish him a safe journey to the silent harbor. We pray that his legacy will be preserved. And we also pray that the many people that he was feeding with his benevolence and munificence will be taken care of. That's the great Apostle Kojo Safo, inventor, industrialist, and a great man of great repute. And I should tell you this, he helps a lot of people. You need to get a little bit closer to him to understand the lives that depend on him, the lives that are hooked onto him, the lives that yield to him. Now he's gone. He employs a lot of people. He has a legacy that must be preserved, and he has people that he takes care of. So while he rests in peace, those left behind, those in charge of the industries that he's created, and those who depend on him must find it necessary and must find it very, very paramount and important to make sure that they are protecting the legacy that a great man once lived and left behind. We are proud of him, we celebrate him, and we say, may he rest in perfect peace. There's a tomato video. And when I see those things, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because I think that we should be industrializing, we should be exporting and not importing. Listen to the video. We'll talk about it later.
Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Madam Mama Sro mi ko mi ko to dem. Why you be brave dia mama? Why you be brave dia ma Asante Achim North? And nay, ye pese wo ye bibi ma Asante Achim North e koso Kaiwo. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Who mi mobo the MP for Asante Achim North for hini Kwame Frimpong. Me ni me kuafo yi. Abusiafo higher Asante Achim North. Baby e gina sisi ye agogo. Na ye hwe ntosi fefefe a kuafo e gina hayi. I harvest here. Next year, Asante Achim North you be. And Chebebre and our great minister, Honorable Rukupoku, on the deputy, Miaminia, Honorable John Dumelo, Eba Asante Achim North, Ebe share, but some boy, Ampa, and so now, Honorable Rukupoku, Omumami fertilizer, 1,000 bucks. I'm a bet you be a make for. Everyone told some there, but that case you in 500 Ghana cedis, 5 million. And so almost struggle so moving out to form of matter. And in team, if I couldn't see so now, my boy, atofo a mu kumase ne nkran se mu fam wani nkyere Asante Achim North agogo into se fe adaka yi na 500 Ghana cedis as a member of parliament se kuafo ye adwuma we nyina na se e difficult se omo betimi atofo betimi ato a me da mi ntimi na eni ntimi sremo mumra meye mo na Asante Achim North akuafo so omo fam mo ntoma pafura omo bom ho modern adwuma efe entre omo ye so adi hu ne se ye benya adwuma ma mabunu na ye ntika we ba ye ya atofo ehwa ye den a omo ntimi metoi nanka ye we nyina nanka ba ye factory ama mabunu domin mabunu agogo mabunu Asante Achim North mabunu anya adwuma ye sane ye be ya ye betimi adane we into tomato puree ama yetimi export yetimi aton bi organa ama akuafo no so nya musika ntentem te me fa kwanya kase so nam dia sre His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Madam Roma me sre bi ko mi ko to dem why ye bebre dia mame why ye bebre dia ma Asante Achim North enei ye pese wo ye bibi ma Asante Achim North e koso Kaiwo His Excellency John Dramani Mahama hu mi mobo the MP for Asante Achim North for hini Kwame Frimpong me ni me akuafo yi ni mfa kwanya kase yi so ni timi nya tomato factory e wa Asante Achim North Your Excellency bi ko mi ko to dem esrew and to us no adaka you know 5 million esremo a yes anya atofo so madawroma.
So if you are not elected in Chi, what they're saying is that they plant a lot of tomatoes in Asante Achim North, and that's the member of parliament. It's shown a lot of leadership and selflessness. And he says that whole box that you perhaps will buy in Accra for 2,000. Let's put a video up. That whole box that you would buy in Accra for maybe 2,000 cedis, 2,500 is only 500 Ghana cedis. So, Your Excellency, Mr. President, I want to join or add my voice to theirs and appeal to you. In the past, we were told of one village, one dam, one district, one factory. We didn't see the factories. We didn't see the dams. We saw dugouts. In the past, we were told about initiatives that was going to alleviate. And I've been talking about these things. I talk about the mangoes on the Dodowa Road. I talk about watermelon that you see going on the Volta Region Road towards Aplao and all. I talk about these things. I've spoken about it for many years. But nobody seems to pay attention. And the money is here. Yet it's a castle in so accommodating. The money is here. Can you imagine if we had a factory that had off-takers that was giving this to the factories and producing, Mr. President? Our import bill would drop because we import all these things into this country. And we know that most of them are not even natural stuff. They are not organic stuff. They add a lot of chemicals, etc. to them. I'm sure that we can do better. And once the MP and the farmers have reposed confidence in you, I know you will do better. So, Mr. President, please help. Please help. Please help. Thank you very much for agreeing to help. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Now, I saw a video of the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, apologizing for the mistakes that his government, not allegedly, because he has said it, have made. 6, please find me that video.
Yetu abayewie ye research ewie. Yenimse abai ene ye party yaye mfomso. Yaye mfomso. Bebre ewo ye governance no mo. Niema wo ho a afise ye beye yanye. Ye may be so anka ye who from the background so ye enti mejina ye nyina ye kahobi vice president, ministers, MPs, board chairman, appointees ye nyina ya yem from so pacho mon fan cheyen why mon fan cheyen ye nyina ya from so mon fan cheyen na yesua your lessons nyame adom ena mode franka na shemensa me be ye president ambassadorium ye belle ni your lessons mon fan cheyen ambassadorium.
Was it not our very good friend, the vice president of the former regime, who told us that the presidency is not a platform to do remedials, to correct your mistakes? Was it not him? Was it not the same gentleman who came to tell us that the results that he left, the records that his government left for us, it makes him very proud? He said that on Woon to Me radio. Was it not the same person who was vehemently defending and telling us that his government, together with his boss, was the best thing that could ever have happened to Ghana? Did President Akufo-Addo not tell us that we are even fortunate to have him? And were these same mistakes that today are being admitted to a few months after the elections not vehemently rejected by all the communicators? And you can name them, all of them, from Dennis Abuaji to my good friends Kamal Din Abdullahi. They were all denying it and telling us that we were telling lies. That those of us who were pointing out the mistakes to them were actually telling lies. They made us look like we were the evil ones. So from whence cometh this apology? Is it a genuine apology? Or is it an apology to become a flag bearer, to be on the ballot sheet again? There are questions that we have to ask, and we have to be very frank about them. So what exactly is he apologizing for? Because when Dr. Amin Adam, the finance minister who replaced Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, was literally apologizing and also rewriting the apology right on his feet at the town hall meeting that was held, Dr. Bawumia was nowhere. The people of the Republic of Ghana complained about e-levy. The people of the Republic of Ghana spoke about betting tax. We spoke about a lot of things. We spoke about the exchange rate. We spoke about fuel prices. We spoke about hardship in this country. Where was he at the time? Today I hear people talking about what do you call it, tolerance, etc., and I laugh. Once upon a time, my own Helena Piampof and many others, they went to go and do demonstration against Galamsey, which we said, the president said he will put his job on the line for. Some were arrested, including somebody whose wife had just given birth. And the attorney general at the time, who now is behaving like a saint, went to court to go and ask the judge not to grant the people bail because they went on the street to demonstrate against Galamsey. Where was the vice president? Where was the vice president? Where was he? So today, do we take this apology with a pinch of salt? Or do we take this apology wholeheartedly and say better late than never? I'm saying people were arrested for going on the street to go and demonstrate against Galamsey, which the president at the time said, I am determined to put my presidency on the line. They were arrested. The police went to court. The attorney general went to court to argue, to insist that they should not be granted bail. We were in this country. We were in this country when people were demonstrating at 37. They wanted to come and picket at the presidency. We blocked them. Today we know our way to the presidency to go and present petitions. And then when we finish, we come and organize press conferences and come and be pretending that we are holier than thou. It is good not to retaliate, but it is good to remind ourselves that we have seen worse in this country before. We have. Where was the vice president when people were being given haircuts after the president had said that there will be no haircuts? Where was he? Where was he when old women, including a former chief justice of this republic, was out there on the streets with placards picketing at the finance ministry to demand for their monies? Where was he? Why didn't he find it necessary to apologize then? This apology, that I can go on and list a lot of things. Where was he when children were being fed expired rice in schools? And people were vehemently defending it with all the might in their blood. And somebody actually even walked out of this studio because we were asking simple questions. Where was the vice president? When he himself presented items that were expired to NADMO victims, people who had been displaced, where was he? Where was he when the Polugu Dam, which he sat in a studio at Joy FM to tell all of us that it's one of the flagship programs that they have actually achieved for his own people? Where was he? Did he find it necessary to apologize? So where from this apology now? And what is the real motive behind this apology? We must ask him, and he has to come and explain. He has to come and explain. There are lots and lots of things. Look, we did the year of roads, second year of roads, another year of roads. Today we see the state of our roads, and you ask, so where are the over 10,000 kilometers of roads that we claimed that we had built or constructed? Has he apologized for that too? Or is this just a blank apology? Is this just a blank apology? Go and check the children in the secondary schools at the time. Bed bags and all. I get too much information. I'm inundated. Sometimes it actually frustrates me. I ask myself, is this a Republic of Ghana? Operation Galam Stop, Operation Hot 1 and 2, Operation this, that we put people there. Did he find it necessary to apologize to Major Mohammed's family after he was gruesomely killed because of Galamsey? Today we are still grappling with Galamsey, and this government has to do a lot. Find me that Galamsey video. This government has to do a lot, and they have to do their best actually to end this Galamsey menace. There are issues that have to be discussed, the livelihood issues, etc. Where was the vice president? I'm just asking simple common sense questions. Did he find it necessary to apologize then? Or he was busy dancing Sisifia? We who were complaining, we who were paying the taxes, they came to tell us that they were dancing to Sisifia. Today, look at what our water bodies have become. And suddenly, we want to come and change the narrative to come and say that, why, when he was listing the people who were sorry, why didn't he mention his boss? Because he was an agent of the principal who is his boss, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Why didn't he mention him? Where was the vice president when people were signaling, sub-chiefs were signaling big up chiefs, paramount chiefs with the left hand to get up and greet the president? Where was he? Where was he when the chair was being carried in the V8 around with air condition and people were carrying? Where was he? So he needs to come back again and give us a break. We already have the clutch, so he should give us a break. Look at what our water bodies have become. Look at what our water bodies have become. And we want to change the narrative, come and say that, oh, since this new government came, they have come to. Look, the new government has a responsibility to fix this. And they cannot also come and give us vibes and inshallah tactics. No. They have to fix it. Because they promise us that they will fix it. But when you go on social media, ask the vice president, where was he when all these issues were happening? And what exactly did he do about it? Did he not find it prudent then to apologize? He came to tell us during the campaign, and his assigns came to tell us that he was not given the opportunity to run, to go on. When he went on Wuntumi TV, he said he was given the opportunity to run the economic management team. And so he is happy with the figure he left us with. What was the dollar to CD rate? Where was he? My sermon has ended. Please call me 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
Alhaji Peter T, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you people?
I did here. I'm not happy.
You'll be happy. Don't worry. I know.
here on TV3. Still new day, and so far we've been touching on issues. We allowed you to call into the show to comment on the Safo Kantanka unfortunate death of the founder of the Crystal Safo Missions. Then we crossed over to the 3FM studios for the very latest in terms of Johnnie's bite. It's now time for the discussion segment, and like I said, we will do just a quick update on the Benyiri conflict and the matters arising there. Mawina Egbeta, my colleague, was in Côte d'Ivoire, where the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablako, had paid a visit to Ghanaians who are seeking refuge in that particular country. They've basically fled because of the conflict, mainly complaining that they do not feel safe in their homes. And Mawina put together this report, and as the report is playing, I want you to pay particular attention to the response from these individuals after the minister had called upon them to return to the country. They expressed their own fears about their safety. Let's take a listen to this report put together by Mawina Egbeta from Côte d'Ivoire.
Thousands over the last 3 weeks fled the Sola Tuna Kalba districts for fear of their lives as dispute over a small parcel of land claimed over 30 lives. The over 13,000 have taken refuge in camps inside neighbors Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso, where food and hygienic conditions have become a difficulty. With ongoing efforts at mediation, Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablako headed to one of the settlements inside Vonkoro, Ivory Coast. Addressing the gathering after meeting with chiefs and Ivorian security officials, the minister apologized to the refugees for the inconvenience brought upon them.
We are here to empathize, to apologize to you all for what you have gone through. We regret the disturbances, and we know that you are in distress. You've left your homes, you've left your farms, you've left your property. Some of you have lost your relatives. We take full responsibility, and we want to really convey our regrets. This should never have happened, and we are going to make sure that it does not happen again.
He assured a return is safer with security deployed and 6 million CFA francs donated to facilitate their return.
We want to encourage all of you to return. President Mahama, as Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, has put in place a number of measures. There's been massive security deployment. Camps have been established. A committee has been set up to mediate between the traditional leaders on all sides, and calm has been restored. So I'm here to deliver a message to you from the President that it is time to go back. Don't be scared. You will meet adequate security. You will be safe. So we encourage you to go back.
But for the settlers, a return would be difficult.
Now that the Foreign Affairs Minister is asking us to go back, and the security is only based in Boleton, how safe are we going to be? To me, I still believe that there is some kind of fear that still impounded on us.
Many here are farmers and herdsmen as well. So if, let's say, the security are based in town, how do you go to farm to, harvest your farm crops or your farm product that are spoiling in the farm? So that's our worries now.
Ivorian authorities, meanwhile, have urged patience in repatriating the Ghanaians. Mediation is ongoing. Government assurance of safety rings loud, but for many of these settlers, a lot more than these is needed to guarantee their return. Mawina Egbeta, Vonkron, La Côte d'Ivoire.
Very interesting story there, disturbing as well, hearing from Ghanaians who lived here in Ghana, who just a couple of 2 months ago were going about their various activities, now being forced to seek refuge. The minister assuring that, well, it's safe to come back to Ghana, but you heard them there saying that they don't feel that it's safe to come back to the country. Let's bring in Christopher Amwako. Christopher Amwako is my colleague in the Savannah region. This is a conflict that Christopher has covered quite extensively. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Blaine.
Chris, I just want you to give us a sense of how things look in the area, particularly where the conflict commenced, is it relatively safer now? And I'm asking in the context of hearing from those who used to live there, despite assurances from government saying that they do not feel safe and they don't want to come back to those areas.
Yes, so blame mixed feelings when it comes to the safety of these displaced victims. Now, if you go to the communities, yes, the traditional authorities, the overlord of the Gonja Kingdom, Yagbamura, Bikunutu, Jeuswale, and his paramount chiefs have actually indicated that they are going to talk to their people to lay down their arms, which they have done. Now, the communities, yes, some people are there and life is going on. But the major concern, the one thing that keeps coming up, is the safety of the people who have fled. And when they return to their communities, what happens next? Now, the reason these issues of safety come up is that you go to the affected areas, most of the communities don't even have electricity. And so how long can a security officer stay there? Some of the communities, actually, we don't even see security going to those communities. But the most affected areas, for instance, the Beniri community, we have, yes, police visibility is enhanced there. People, when you go there, you see police officers walking in and out. When you go to the Kalba area, you see them. When you go to other areas that the conflict has escalated into, you see them. But most of the communities you go, you don't see security officers there. And so it is very difficult to tell whether or not the security there is enough for the people to return. But one good news is that the people themselves are voluntarily returning to their communities. Now, this, where I am currently, is the Solar Police Station camp. Before today, we had over 10,000 of the displaced victims pitching camp here. But this morning, records from the Ghana Red Cross Society indicates that the people here are less than 50. Most of them have gone back into their communities voluntarily. Yesterday, I was in one of the communities to engage the people who have gone back to their communities. And the concerns they raised is that, yes, we are back because we cannot keep staying in Ivory Coast. They fled to Bonkoro. Now they are back to their communities because they have their farms to protect, they have their animals, they also have a life to live. And so they have decided to take the challenge upon themselves to return to their communities. And so, yes, some of them are in their communities and going about their normal duties, but their fear is that they don't know if their communities will be attacked again, because they are hearing that when they return, especially the men, there will be another attack. That is their fear. So at night, they don't even sleep in their rooms. They go to their farms to sleep. So in the morning, they come back to the house to eat, then they go back to their farms to continue with their activities. Then after that, they sleep there. And so the mediation from the Yagbonra, the paramount chiefs, and other sub-chiefs, including other stakeholders, probably will do the magic by reassuring these victims that all is well and the place is safe for them. In the Bonkoro area as well, there were close to 13,000 plus people around that enclave. As we speak, it's just a little over 5,000 of the displaced victims who are still at the Bonkoro camp. That should tell us that the numbers have gradually reduced significantly. Now, these are not the only camps. There are others in the southern parts of the country. If you go to Wenchi, for instance, some of them who were only just running for safety didn't know where they were going. You see, they stopped the buses on the road, they bought these buses, and they just go to wherever that the buses will take them. And so we have a lot of them, thousands of them, also outside the reach of the Savannah region. And so that is how it is. We are only hoping that in the coming days, as they begin to reintegrate themselves into their communities, a relative calm will be restored. and the assurances from government and the traditional authorities should also further enhance the trust these people have in the security of the area.
And Chris, briefly, you mentioned something about the security deployment in the area generally. If you could just emphasize that point for me, is it a case that there isn't enough deployment, or it is just a feeling among the residents that the deployment is not enough? If you could just clarify that point and conclude for me.
Okay, first of all, it's a feeling among the residents that the deployment is not enough. So they believe that the security are always in the town centers patrolling. They are not sure if they will come to their communities. Now, we also do know that the conflict escalated to other communities. So this conflict started in Beniri, but as we speak, several other communities have been affected. There are even others that were not affected, but the people have all fled because of the fear that the next community after the one that has been affected would have been those communities. And so for the fear of being attacked, the people themselves fled. So that is how it is. Now, the police, yes, police officers have been deployed to the area, some in Bole, others in the Solar area. Let me emphasize this. As a result of the escalation, now we have more people in the Bole area fleeing than in the Solar area. That is how it is because of the escalation of the traditionally, this area is in the Bole traditional area. That is the Bole paramountcy. But when it comes to administrative boundaries, we have Solar Tunakaba district and Bole district. The two all used to be one district. And so most of the people are just around the same area. So the emphasis I'll put on this is that yes, some police officers have been deployed, but they are unable to patrol all the affected communities, including others that have not been affected. And so that is where the fear comes from. So if I am, for instance, in Bole, Solar, or even Beniri or Kalba, I have the trust that yes, once these are big towns, the police come there almost all the time and all those things. But if you are in other communities that were affected or that were not affected but fled from these communities, you don't even see a police officer. Yesterday, I went to some communities. They told me that since they are returned, no police officer has come there, but they believe that the people will not come back to attack them because of the talks that have been going on. One of them specifically mentioned that they heard on TV that someone called them that the president has given the assurance that everything is calm and safe for them, so they should return. And so they are basing on the president's words that everything is now calm and safe. That is why they have returned. And so if they are attacked again, it means that the president deceived them to come. That is why they have been attacked. So they believe that once the president has said that they should come, that is why they have come, and they believe that nothing is going to happen. So most of the communities, yes, visibility is not there, even vessels play.
All right. Thank you very much, Christopher Amwako. Fantastic reporting, as always, bringing us a sense of the situation in that particular part of the country, the Savannah region. And it was important to do that update just to put in context the story by Mawina and the concerns that were raised by the Ghanaians who are seeking refuge in Côte d'Ivoire. Let me bring into the conversation Richard Kumado. Richard Kumado is a security and fraud prevention consultant. Mr. Kumado, good morning, and thank you for joining us as always.
Thank you, Agabe.
Direct question, should we be in a hurry to want to have these individuals who are seeking asylum in Côte d'Ivoire return to the Savannah region?
I think so far, the front actors have done everything possible to reassure them of their safety, and that is encouraging. Now, when it comes to coming back, others will voluntarily come back. Others will want to wait and see what goes on. So the foreign minister going there is also to add up to what the front actors have done. And it's reassuring if you look at the people he went there with. These are people the displaced people can identify with. And it all goes to build confidence that we are for you, you can come back. Particularly when our grandfather, the Yangbora, has launched the Damba, and this is the time of festivity. And they will need everybody around. All those things will make it possible that people can look into one another's face and celebrate. And I think we are doing it right. What we need to do is also to ensure that we show law enforcement visibility. If you listen to the report by Christopher, some are showing concern that they haven't seen police. Even though as part of security management, the police don't need to be at every community. They can operate from every angle and they'll still get a job done. But I believe that the IGP and his team have heard you this morning and they will show police visibility. What is important is that the mediation team will take the front row from now and ensure that the reconciliatory aspect of everything will work perfectly, which is also is a form of granting security and safety to our people. And where the vulnerability becomes something else, and those who started it will want to, take advantage of the vulnerabilities of the people coming back again, then you will want the law enforcement officers to go in there and curtail it and to quell it off. So we are doing everything right, but let's keep our eyes on the ball.
And beyond that, I mean, we know that one thing that has been very common in a lot of these conflict areas, especially the ones with tribal undertones, is there's always a period of resurgence as and when things tend to look very calm. I mean, what should be the medium-term strategy beyond what we are doing short-term with the increased visibility that you are calling for? That's my final question to you.
Considering the fact that they all have one father, which is our grandfather, the Yagborua, I heard the president in his press media that he spoke to his father, which is the Yagborua. Now that the people are coming back, I want to say that I want to suggestively recommend that the constant conversation between the president and his father, the Yagborua, who is our grandfather, will do the magic, that he will speak to all his children along that stretch. If you look at the tradition, the background of the tradition alignment and the estimate of chiefs around that whole area, everybody there is his son. And once he speaks to them, they listen, so that it will make the warriors to come back home. They will lay down their arms and everybody will conform. And to the extent that their father speaks to them or the Yagborua speaks to them, it helps in the manner that everybody will obey. Those who decide not to obey, then we can say they have become recalcitrant and we might want to speak to them directly. But I want to believe that the president's conversation with his father, which is the Yagborua, together with Jumana Bombardi's mediation team, they will get a job done. And we are only hoping that they will move in as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Do what they do best, and we will be free, and our people will come back. Let me also say that as we celebrate festival along that whole stretch, let it be a time of uniting ourselves and unity and love and peace and cherish whatever we love, and let the fighting stop, because in fighting, development may not come to our area.
All right. Thank you very much, Richard Kumado, for joining us this morning for this part of our discussion. Richard Kumado is a security analyst and a fraud prevention expert as well. Let me introduce you to my guest in the studio, Dr. Bernard Tutu Buan. He is a political marketing analyst and expert as well. Dr. Regular on the Monday Belt, thank you very much for joining us. Also in studio is Fred Agbenyo. He's the MP for Guan constituency. Honorable, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, my brother.
I'm very fine. I want to pick a brief comments on what we are learning. It's something we've discussed extensively previously, but the update now is the call on the residents, those who had fled to Côte d'Ivoire, to come back, and we are hearing them say that, well, they don't feel like it's safe to return. We've heard the views of Kumado, we've heard from our reporter on the ground as well. I don't know what do you make of all what we are learning this morning.
Well, thank you very much. Let me say good morning to yourself, my prof, and our charity viewers. I can understand why they are not too sure. They don't feel very secure to want to return back home. This is an area they have lived for only God knows how many years. I'm told over 100 years. They have coexisted, and they woke up one morning to the things that happened, and the number of lives that we are told were lost in this particular conflict, properties and everything. And they have to be completely displaced. They have to run to Côte d'Ivoire and other parts of the country. And so for us to ask them to return, we need to give them that assurance that they are returning to a peaceful home. And as one of the gentlemen rightly said, the security personnel we have deployed to the area are told currently that they are domiciled in the towns and cities. And so the each question is, what happens to them when they go to their farms, when the security people are not there? Can we guarantee that nobody will going to attack them on the farms? And I think that is a very legitimate question to be asked. I want to commend His Excellency the President when he addressed the nation in the media program. He told us his engagement with the stakeholders who matter in this particular conflict and the agreement that they have come into. I want to thank the IGP and everybody who has played their role. The Minister of Foreign Affairs was with them. He gave them the assurance. But as I said, it is more than just telling them that come back home. We need to do something more to be able to, give them that confident assurance that when they come back home, indeed, nobody will come and attack them. Our common enemy as a nation is poverty. It's not ourselves. And so at all material times, we must endeavor to give peace a chance. We need to coexist to be able to develop this country. All of us who know that part of the country know that there's a very high level of poverty around that area. Our prayer, our thinking is how we can put that land to good use to be able to produce, to make life more meaningful for the people who live in that enclave. The least of the things we want to hear is bloodshed. The least of the things we want to hear is people attacking each other and beating each other. That is not what we are looking for at this point. And so I want to plead with everybody. Let calms return. Let's allow peace away. Let development be our focus and our agenda. Whatever is that has happened, we should allow the chiefs and the elders to sit down and try to resolve the issues whilst we allow life to continue. And so we want to plead with them.
Okay.
IGP, you have to go back again. National Security, BNI. I am happy that the Minister of Foreign Affairs said government has taken full responsibility for what happened. The essence of we having all these intelligence bodies is for them to be able to pick some of these signals ahead of time so we can move in to avert it from happening. But where we sit back and allow that thing to happen before we move in, it becomes a bit problematic. And so I want to urge them to try as much as possible to deploy men to the ground. They should have their intelligence eyes on the ground to avert any such future appraisals. We don't have to sit back for 1 or 2 people to be killed before we move in with our security apparatus. Let's get the intelligence guys, let them be in the bush, let them be in the farms. Let us give the people the assurance. And as I said, we need continuous engagement with both factions to make sure that nobody pounces on anybody again. That is what Ghana needs today. And I've always been saying that these things, when they happen, beyond lives that are lost, property that are lost, it has huge international impact on our economy and our country as a whole. Now, you go into the international media, that is what is highlighted. And the impression is created as though the whole of the country is on fire. Yeah. It's as if we are fighting, there's no peace. Nobody wants to take his money on his investment to an area where there's no peace. People want to take their money where they can invest and be able to make some return on that investment. And the only thing that can guarantee them that is when there's a peaceful, people are coexisting, people are working in harmony and in unison. That's the only way people can put their revenues there. And so we all want to plead with them that they should allow peace to reign, they should allow peace, give peace a chance, and they should quit like they have always done. Whatever that might have brought about this conflict that we are seeing today, okay. We want to plead with them that they should put it behind themselves and move on for our collective good as a nation.
Okay. Doc, should we be in a hurry to want to have them come back home if they do not feel like it's safe to return?
All right, my brother, good morning once again.
Good morning.
Good morning to your crew. Sir, good morning.
Good morning, Prof.
Yes, sir. Let me say good morning to our viewers as well. Last week we spoke about this matter, and I made my point. Unfortunately, on Wednesday, when I was watching Newsday, I think a caller made a statement, and and he actually misrepresented me, and again took me for Lawyer Dankwa, Apia Dankwa. I was the one who made that statement. Apia Dankwa didn't say anything. And I understand where that comment was coming from, and it is quite unfortunate that the person probably felt that I was painting the entire Northerners with one brush, and again felt that I was not telling the truth as it was supposed to be. But you know, last week, Fred wasn't here.
No.
But all the things that he has said were basically the things that I echoed. And I feel that I wouldn't sit on this set, you know, as a Ghanaian and a true, you know, Ghanaian, you know, to just condemn a particular ethnic group when I'm not supposed to do that. But you see, when people are making such attacks, what it means is that they are telling you that just mind your business. You know, but we are all Ghanaians. And Fred has said it right, that, you know, the image of the country is at stake, right? Beyond that, we understand that the northern part of Ghana constitutes more than 30% of the food basket, all right? Now, when such conflicts erupts, what does it mean? Are we not going to suffer from famine? Now, people have invested in farming. What is going to happen to them? So these are some of the things that we keep talking about. You see, the level of poverty, when you check the Ghana Statistical Service and their data, you know, in terms of, how do you call it? You know, poverty.
Yeah.
All right. You realize that when you talk about core poor communities, it is up there. And does it mean that the people cannot become rich? They can become rich. All right. So the only external variable that can promote this level of, you know, richness, you know, has to do with the fact that there should be peace. You know, there should be, people should have that kind of free movement, you know, to go about their daily activities and all that. I mean, conflict, you realize that last week I said that I was talking, your reporter mentioned one plot of land.
Yeah.
Earlier, what I've read indicated that it was a parcel of land. So quickly I have to revise my notes. In the President's Meet the Press series, he said that it was a small plot of land that you can only put a container on it. You know, now looking at these three issues, now you can basically say that, look, that land that was sold, whatever anger that came out of it, we could have settled it. How much was it going to cost?
Yeah.
That more than 30 people have died, 48,000 people displaced, you know, and 13,000 people fled to neighboring Cote d'Ivoire. That was the argument.
Okay.
And so for me, I think that, yes, I commend the president, you know, for taking that bold initiative. The security services, you know, again, pushing it in there, you know, to make sure that people are at peace. What the foreign minister has done, you know, in sort of, you know, give encouragement to the people in Cote d'Ivoire to return home is also brilliant. And my point still remains that, look, government will do it best. Government can commit all the financial resources, but at the end of the day, you know, the people matter in this decision.
Okay.
And if government is going to encourage them to come back, that is fine. At the end of the day, you heard the reporter say that the men are afraid to come back because they feel they can be attacked. Meaning that fear, you know, is something that is equally, you know, preventing whatever effort government is going to put in. But again, we want to appeal to the conscience of the people, whoever the warriors are, whoever has been offended, whoever has lost a loved one, that the best way to live as a community is to forgive one another.
Okay.
All right, so that level of forgiveness should come so that it sets the foundation for whatever peace, you know, negotiation that the government wants to bring. And whoever is also equally going to be involved in settling this matter. So it is about the people.
Okay.
They should be ready to embrace peace. Then, of course, the government can do its bit.
Let me just add something very to it. You see, it is becoming a bit difficult and worrying when these issues come up. And we get opportunities on sets like this and we want to contribute to it. Sometimes the attacks you receive, the threats you receive, the message you receive, what business do we have inflating passions and urging the conflict to go in some of these areas? All of us are Ghanaians, and we all want a peaceful country. We know the northern part of Ghana is the food basket of this nation. And so anytime there's problem over there, it affects all of us. And so sometimes out of frustration, you come on set, you discuss the issues quite passionately, and some people take offense. They don't see why you talk about it the way you spoke about it. It is not for us here to say who is right or who is wrong. It's not for us here to draw conclusion on the issues. We can only run commentary based on what we have heard, what we have seen, and what we have read, right? And so sometimes people should have the patience to tolerate dissenting view when it comes to issues like this. There's no point people calling you, threatening you, you are taking side. What business do we have in doing that? Not at all.
Okay, all right. And I think my takeaway from what you said that the enemy is poverty.
The enemy is poverty.
I agree totally with that. And we can only wish the government very well in terms of the efforts to bring peace to that part of the country. And hopefully the security agencies will be able to assure residents of their safety to have our colleagues return to their places of residence in peace once again. We cannot talk about the new Patriotic Party and its flag bearer race. It's getting exciting and interesting by the day because of the things that we are hearing here and there. I mean, one of the leading individuals many have tipped to win the race, actually, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, he has been speaking, and it's interesting that his focus has been largely on whether he's responsible for the party's defeat in the December 2024 elections or not. And he has been responding to claims of his ethnicity, the conflict, and how it's played out, and said that, well, that's not what is contained in the Okwe report. He, on the other hand, once again, is heard apologizing to the people by saying that, well, there were some things that we did wrong, and if he's given the chance, he's not going to do it again. And already people are asking questions. It is the performance of the NPP that people voted on. And so if you agree that there were things that were done wrong, and as a result of that, the NPP was voted out of power, how do you turn around and say that if you had been indicted by the Okwe report for being the cause of the party's defeat, you will not be seeking to contest again? It's something that people are trying to reconcile the two. But all those are matters that I'll put to my guests in the studio and also on Zoom as well to help us understand what is happening within the camp of the NPP. I want us to listen to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia first speak about allegations targeted at him that he is to blame for the party's performance in the December 2024 elections.
Konsam enye juma de etoso a omode baaye omose mamprusi kusasi conflict semotiye se omose eninti na ye lose ye mamprusi kusasi mimi ye mamprusi ni enti anka eye no kra anka se omo ama me knockout enye sa omo ama me knockout na uhwe Mamprusi kusasi conflict no and start here na yenyen womi na yenyen womi o esha se na yenyen womi oho Bawku zone no it say munyina mu muntie Bawku zone no 6 constituencies since 1950s Bawku zone no largely CPP no almost 30 years, and then it's dominantly NDC. Since 1965, 11 elections. Ghana 11 elections. But Ushe Bawku zone no more. The highest seat in all those 11 elections is 2 seats. That's the highest. Most of the elections, yenya 0 seats. In 6 of the 11 elections, yenya 0. 1965, nami 2 years old, yenya 0. Nami nsen nkaho. Enya sa, nami nsen nkaho. 1979, me jampe kakra time London Victor Usiye flag bearer. yenya 0 ewo Bawku uko na menka ho na uko eba 2004 me jumping ka ho President Kufona oye president ye winning election but Bawku zone yenya 0 seats 0 seats 2012 Nana Akufo-Addo on the flag bearer ye koye Bawku zone yenya 0 seats na menka na meni Nana Akufo-Addo no ye koye but sem no na yenka na so I do 2024 so yenya 0 ho enye sa na uhwe trajectory no a mina mema yenya 0 no mina mema yenya 0 no enye mia but Bawku zone no NDC stronghold it is a Volta region NDC stronghold so uhwe votes are MPP ye lose ye for the 6 constituencies combined in 2024 was 30,000 but the votes we lost in the country ye to abaye ye research ewie ye nimse aban ene ye party ye infomso bebre ewo ye governance no mo niema wo ho a afise ye beye yanye ye mebi to wo ho a ye ya anka ye hu from the background so a ye enti mejina ha ye nyina ye ka ho bi vice president ministers MPs board chairman appointees ye nyina ya ye from so pacho momfanche yen why momfanche ye nyina ye ya from so momfanche yen na yesua ye lessons nyame adom ena mode franka ne hyemensa me be ye president embasabium ye belle ne ye lessons momfanche embasabium.
What I can tell you is that we are all part of this discussion that will be taking place shortly. You heard Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia there. In the first place, he talked about the performance of the New Patriotic Party. For those of you who may not understand what he was saying, the performance of the New Patriotic Party in the Bawku area. And he says, historically, the party was not able to win a seat for so many years. And he says, for most of those many years, he was not a candidate. He was not part of the electoral process. But that was the performance of the party. And he now makes reference to his participation to say that, well, it's the same performance once again. So he does not understand how come he's being blamed for that particular outcome. Then you heard him apologize for what he says are mistakes of the NPP in government. And for that, he says he's part. Board heads are part. CEOs, Director Generals, he says they are all part. And he apologizes that those mistakes are things that accounted for the party's defeat, for which, if he is given a chance to lead the government again, those mistakes will not be repeated. And that is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia right there. Let me welcome into the conversation as well Dr. Samuel Ifriye. Dr. Samuel Ifriye is a regular contributor on the show. Doc, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, my pleasure, and greetings to your viewers and also Honorable Abenyo and also Dr. Boahin.
Let me start with Dr. Boahin in the studio. Doc, you are the political marketing person. I mean, what's your understanding of the political marketing approach of candidates or aspirants, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia?
Yes, so from his speech, I can deduce two things. The fact that he trying to logically present the view that he wasn't the one or the cause of the defeat among the Mampusis, indicating or setting certain premises that, you know, out of a number of elections, the MPP has gotten just 2 seats, you know, within that constituency for a number of years, which per data, it is true. So we can't say that what he said was false. Secondly, he was also indicating that as at the time that certain defeats were being caused, he wasn't even born. And he was not a voter even within that space. So that is equally true, all right. So if he concludes, by saying that he cannot be blamed, for the loss, logically, it makes a valid and a sound statement. I said valid and sound statements. Now, when you put valid and sound statements together, it means that the conclusion is true. You understand? So, and the truth of what he's saying is equally supported by data. So you can't say that when you go into the data, he can be proved wrong. All right. And so I find it a bit worrying when members of the MPP party who do not really have the facts, would make it a propaganda against the person of Dr. Bawumia and his political ambitions. I think that the second thing has to do with the apology that he said.
Yeah.
I've not seen the Makokwe reports, all right? And because I've not seen it, I wouldn't say I've read it. But at least one other report came into existence, which we all read, the Honorable Chairman Sabunsu, report, which, of course, the people in Ashanti region were demanding for an apology. And you see, again, when you go into the nitty-gritties, or the substances of the matter, I have had a number of engagements as part of trying to ascertain myself with some of the issues, that got the MPP that huge defeat. And up to now, I still gather information, with some of these things. And the reality is that there is anger against the MPP. And that is what I think Dr. Bawumia was trying to articulate, to the point that, yes, well, because there was an anger, it means that they did things which were not right in the sight of the ordinary Ghanaian voter. Beyond that, even MPP members themselves, card-bearing members of the MPP, were not actually happy with the events that unfolded prior to, 2024 elections. And so when you check again, you do a thorough analysis of the 2024 results, it is clear that key constituencies of the MPP, not just Ashanti region alone, people actually, exhibited anger, a kind of protest votes against the MPP. Now, in this circumstance, are you saying that, or is somebody saying that that anger is automatically gone, naturally it is gone, when issues have not been settled? I don't think so.
Okay.
So the first point for me, from a strategic point of view, that needs to be done is that not just Dr. Bawumia alone, but the entire party, the leadership of the party, should find a way to apologize, especially to their key constituencies. All right. Now, if for 8 months it has not been done, and a potential flag bearer, the past flag bearer of the party, decides to do, I don't see that it is a conflict of interest. And I don't think that he has done anything that nobody should do.
Okay.
I think that it is a rare mark of leadership.
Okay.
All right. That, for peace and tranquility to prevail, a former flag bearer and probably a potential flag bearer will come up to say that, look, what we did all the allegations leveled against us, all the anger against us, yes, are valid. But on this occasion, we want to, or I want to apologize on behalf of, the MPP as a party. You see, I take inspirations from Jerry John Rawlings a lot, And you see, in I think the 79 coup, when he was arrested and other, men, were arrested together with him.
The 15th May attempt.
Exactly. 15th May. When he was facing the tribunal, he told them, look, they have not done anything. Alone. Leave my men alone. That is a mark of a leader. You see, so for me, if Dr. Bawumia has done something like that, apologizing, which of course, it is something that the people of Ashanti region boldly said that, look, they didn't even mention Dr. Bawumia's name. They said that former President Akufo-Addo should apologize to them.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And so if that apology has not come, and Dr. Bawumia feels that I need to do this, I think that it's a mark of leadership. Okay. And probably, the premises with which you ask your question, trying to link, and the apology. Yeah. There is no fallacy in this. There is no contravention to what he has said. I feel that, look, he presented one case and then presented another. The two scenarios are not the same.
I mean,
all right.
To the extent that, Doc, a flag bearer is elected by a party to win elections.
Yeah.
And so if you are telling us that historically this is the performance in the first case that he presents, then one would ask the question that should we really be voting for you? Because the party would want to vote for someone who can break a trend.
Yeah. So
it can't be an answer that is how the people vote anyways.
Yeah.
Because those are the votes that will make the difference.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to the illustration I'm trying to paint is the fact that, you see, when you check the history, first, which he has brought out of the data, basically, there was nothing that he could do about it.
Okay.
Now, you see, the people in 2016, up there, the Mampusis, the Kusasis, the MPP did a bit of work in there, and they got certain, they appreciated in terms of votes. But again, you see, when that is politics for you, right? And over the years, the two major political parties have suffered.
Okay.
Now, even in Ketu South, the NDC in 2016 suffered. Okay, apathy. Now, why apathy? Because of failed promises.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Now, when you are assuming a position as a vice president, per the Constitution of Ghana, your responsibilities are limited.
Okay.
All right. Now, so, yes, he made certain bold declarations, prior to the 2016 elections. All right. And for which people believe that that was the reason why the MPP had that majority, support.
Okay.
Okay. Now, coming into power, what happened? Probably the Mampusis, the Kusasis felt that certain promises that were delivered, were not honored. From a political marketing perspective, campaign promises and delivery, the gap in there is quite difficult.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
Yes. And so when you don't deliver, obviously you attract punishment.
Okay. All right. Hold it, Doc. Let me go on the Zoom quickly before I come to Honorable in the studio. Dr. Friye, is it fair to say that the MPP is not particularly handling its rebuilding process very well? I mean, 8 months on, and I want to read something that Kennedy Japan tweeted shortly after Dr. Bawumia had spoken about this loss issue. And Kennedy Japan says, over 1.7 million votes lost. Dr. Bawumia says it wasn't the flag bearer, religion, or tribe. He knows this because of the Mike Okoye report, which only he seems to have read. So since you are the sole custodian of the truth, please enlighten us. And this should not be a conversation that 8 months after a defeat, a party has tasked a body to look into the matter, and the conversation is around what accounted for a defeat. That should have been done and dusted with a report that was commissioned.
Yes, you know, the MPP is still wallowing in their defeat because of not the party not coming to terms, and especially certain individuals within the party. So it's creating a lot of problems than even how for them to even to manage some of what is going on in the party. You know, they are blaming each other because there is no leadership in the party. They are blaming each other because they know that people who have benefited from the party more than the other. They are blaming each other because they don't have a strategist to be able to guide them to know what is ahead of the party. They don't know, they are blaming each other because the issue about the reasons that has been assigned by these reports are still in the shelves. I think by now, if nothing, the key members of the party should have an insight about that report. But it seems still it has been in the shelf for some few people to have access to it. And that is creating a lot of differences within the party. But you know, Fred, what I would say is that, you know, the party national executive, of which have been consistent in that perspective, that they need to be blamed. They are responsible. The party, or everybody within the party, from the former president, everyone is responsible for the loss. Because, you know, when you check the data from 2016, where the MPP beat the NDC with 1 million votes, had about 169 seats. In 2020, the MPP beat NDC by 500,000 votes with 137 seats. And 2024, I think currently, they lost by 1.7 million votes with what, about, I think, and above, I think, 83 seats. So the loss of the party was not in 2024. It started in 2020, that is 2016, when the party was reducing their seats and nothing was done. People thought that it is a normal process and it can come to elections, situation demands that. But there was a key issue that was trending within that made the party lose from that number of seats. And the NDC took an advantage of it to make sure that these things that the MPP is not trying to have access to, they will do it. And that made the NDC to win this margin of more than 1 million votes. So, you know, you cannot exclude that people that made the party to lose the elections 2024 will be on just one person. No, it cannot be so. The national executive for 2024 executive that is filled with thinking that they should have even resigned for them to have an interim executive the moment they lost the elections, and I think this year, that is January. And because of the inability of the executives, you realize that the party, most of the party decisions are being taken by the Council of Elders and those kind of people that are involved in the party structures, even though it might seem right, but most of the decisions are being taken by these Council of Elders. So it presupposes that the party is not in shape. The party is still wallowing in their loss because they don't know where the problem, they don't know how things happen. Okay. Because they didn't know that it started from 2016. So what I would say is that they have to go back and they need a leader within the party. When I talk about the leader We talk about the national executive, a leader who is strong, a chairman who is strong, and a secretary. Because if you match these executives, the NDC says, I'm sorry, there's a difference in terms of control of the party.
Okay.
So let them take their rifle report and then they should avoid blaming each other and excuse me to use the word in quotes. It should come back to their common sense.
Okay. Let me come to the studio now. And Honorable, I mean, you from the NDC, I mean, you must be happy with what is going on with the NPP at this point in time.
How can we be happy? It's a state institution. It's about the future of this country. We believe in multi-party democracy. And so whatever affects NPP affects NDC. You know, whichever way, NPP will come to power one day. And so it is in our collective interest that they present to us leaders we can trust, leaders who can help this country to move on. And so we cannot sit down aloof and watch and be happy and be smiling that there's no leadership, as has been said by a doc, and that everything is haywire, everybody just say whatever he wants. You see, but it's as people are missing the point. I have a friend called Terry who always says that leadership is loneliness. And as a leader, you must learn to take responsibility. And when you have to apologize, you must apologize unconditionally. That apology must be seen by all to be coming from your belly. That you mean exactly what you are saying. That is the only time people can take you serious and accept that apology. But when in one vein, you are trying to justify. In another vein, you said, I am apologizing. Other side, you don't want to take responsibility. Who will take that apology seriously? Who will believe in what you are saying? Who will see it as one of those political rhetorics? Let me just say something. Of course, he has succeeded in getting Doc to praise him. You know, he has succeeded in getting Doc to praise him. Meanwhile, the man didn't mean that. You understand? The argument I've heard time with that number. It's not the number of seats they won in the Mamprisi area or not. It's about the fact that for the first time since 1992, a presidential candidate got 0 votes at a polling station.
Where they have polling station executives.
Where they have polling station executives. That is the crux of the issue. It's not about the seats. MPP, every polling station, there are 5 executives. So how do you get 0 at those polling stations? The second argument I've heard is that in the history of this kind, 1992, no presidential candidate from MPP side has lost this gargantually like Malam Bawumia has done. That's the argument. Nobody else. Again, when they were bringing the Malam, we were told he's the best thing that's happened to this country. We were told he's a whiskey, that he's at the Bank of Ghana, he understands everything about economy. Nanado told us at the time that he didn't have that capacity. He cannot manage the economy. He doesn't understand economy. And so he was bringing somebody who could do it. Mm-hmm. And you came and every indicator shows that you perform abysmally. You fail. Mm. And so the first thing, you must come out and take responsibility. Indeed, this is the first time I've heard him try to do what they call an apology that I said he succeeded in getting doctor to think that he really meant to apologize. All they have said in the is that, oh, we did very well. We governed very well. We did our very best. It is NDC that lied to Ghanaians. It's as though to say that Ghanaians are gullible, Ghanaians cannot think for themselves, and that must take people from NDC to go and fabricate lies. Ghanaians didn't see the kind of governance they were giving us. Mm. That's the impression I've created all over the place. That they did very well. Now go and check all the economic indicators. I am not going to any other area, just there. All the things they inherited in 2016 or 2017, they should point to one that they did better than they inherited in 2017. That just one indicator that they can point to that, oh, when we came, inflation was at this point, and we did better when we were leaving office. Not even one. And so, where is Malam Bawumia's scorecard? Mm. He has been given opportunity. He organized all the elections across this country prior to 2016 elections. He told Ghanaians how to fix all our problems. I remember his famous quote when he said, we don't need to borrow money to fix our roads. All we need to do is to just put toll booths on our roads and we'll fix all the roads. When it matters most, his road minister stood in parliament and by his own discretion, just decided to what? Cancel all the tolls in this country. The same toll that the man said where they are going to make sure that they use to raise money to fix our roads. This is a man who said we had so much money in this country and that we didn't even need to borrow money. By the time they were leaving money, they have borrowed money that no government in our entire history. In fact, when you put our indebtedness from independence to 2017 together, they have borrowed in excess of all that. They inherited about 120 billion Ghana cedis debt, and by the time they were living over 760 something. That's their track record. At a point, inflation in this country was around 54%. By the time they were leaving office, it was around 23%. And they had projected that we are going to get single-digit inflation by 2035, 10 years from now. Look how we are today, a little over 11% in just 8 months. The depreciation of the city, we all saw it. Before they left office, dollar was almost hitting 17 cedis. And so, what is Alhaji Bawumia campaigning on? Where is the track record? What are we looking on?
Okay. So where do you think the MPP should, or how should they proceed now at this point in time, briefly?
If I have my own way, MPP should close their offices for at least for some time. They should, of course, they should close their offices.
Okay.
Just like they said they are not going to contest the Tamale Central by-elections, they should tell Ghanaians, we have admitted our mistakes. We don't know how to govern. We messed the entire country up. We took the country backwards, and so we are not going to get involved in electoral activities, at least for the next 2 elections. We are going to go back in-house and correct our own mistakes.
Okay.
When we have finished, then we can come for the people of this country.
Okay.
But when you hear them running all over the place and saying that, oh, we are going to win 2028 elections. How are you going to win 2028 elections?
Okay.
When your record is fresh for all Ghanaians to see.
Okay. Doc, how should the MPP proceed briefly?
Yeah, so it's about peace. All right, it's about unity. It's about the fact that the party leadership should be strong enough, to be able to bring all aspiring, presidential candidates together to understand the journey ahead of them in 2028. I think that you asked Doc about Kennedy Japan's claim. Which has to do with the fund extent.
Yes.
It is in connection to the fund, right? Yeah, you see, it's a bit fascinating, right? The way he actually argued and brought out the comments. I want Fred to know that Dr. Bawumia has not succeeded in convincing me. You see, my PhD thesis is in political marketing, and my entire chapter 2 was on context study. So I delved deep into, the figures, the EC figures, from constituency levels, polling station levels, up to the national level. So I play with it as and when. So when all these issues started coming, I started, way back somewhere in March, even before Dr. Bawumia, started to do what he's doing, all right? And secondly, when I sit in front of data, I query it a lot. And so even in 2024, I think I was about one of the few people to have noted, what was happening with the result that was coming, all right? So it's not about Dr. Bawumia convincing me with what he has said, but it's about what I know and probably some of the things that he has said, which I have seen.
Okay.
You see, when you are making statements, especially in political arguments, you need to ensure, because you see, the direction we are going as a country and the extent to which voters are becoming enlightened, when you say something today, voter will not respond today, but will analyze it and come back and hit you in future. Okay. That's why I am interested in this argument.
All right.
So the point is that when we check the arguments, you see the claims and the fan extent from a mathematical perspective down to logical perspective, I think that there is some kind of mismatch in there.
Okay.
All right. And so it becomes a bit very difficult for anybody, especially some of us, to understand the argument that Ken was trying to put forth.
Okay. That's fine. If you just do that for me quickly here.
Yeah. Okay. So no,
that's fine. Okay. Let me just wrap up with Dr. Free on the line. Doc, briefly, how should the MPP proceed? Earlier on, I heard you suggest something about the national executives. If you could just wrap up for me on that.
Yes, I said that the national executives need to, but I think it's too late. I was of the view that after the 2024 elections where they lost abysmally, they should have resigned so that the party could have appoint interim executives to handle everything that is going on, even current. But it's too late because most of them are still on, and they have an impending election, the presidential election. So I think that one it might not work. But what I would say is that they have to put their house in order internally, and also ensure that they manage others outside, that is stakeholders outside the party, especially the media, where they have sidelined the media and also bloggers and other. I think the media, they have to check it very well. If not, they will still have the negative publicity of the party.
Okay, thank you very much, Doc. There just some messages quickly. This one is from Stephen Penn from Y. You say that, good morning, Joe. Dr. Bawumia has further muddied the waters. We were told he would garner the northern votes only to push the MPP into a disastrous minority. Bawumia has no serious advisor. Just imagine what he said in Akwetia 2 days before the by-election. And I think you're making reference to what had accounted for the death of the Member of Parliament. This one here from Ebo Backman Movement for Change. You say that there's not enough for Dr. Bawumia to ask for forgiveness. If they truly care about Ghanaians and have regretted their actions, they should return the money and the lands they looted. As Vice President, where did he get the funds to buy 300 pickups for the party in 2024? Ghanaians don't need apologies. Ghanaians need answers and accountability. And from Ralph Akuse, you say that Dr. Bawumia is to blame for their loss. You see, when a blind man is led into a ditch, you, the person who led him, is to blame. Akufo-Addo, okay, in terms of economics, Bawumia was the one leading, and he brought in the economic wizard to help him, and you end with Atasa there. Okay, so that is it. All time will allow us this morning. Very, very unfortunate. That's all time will allow us this morning.
Just 30 seconds.
No, 30 seconds, 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Okay. Well, just to say that Bawumia is the first northern candidate that NPP has ever put on their ticket. And so to say that from 1965, you've never got anything from the Mampusi area, it doesn't add up to the logic. That's why they brought you. The expectation is that since you are coming from there now, bring something from home. Let me conclude by saying good morning to the good people of the Republic of SAR. I was with them the whole of last week. I just went back to Accra this morning. And I salute them for
all right. This final message here, Musa Abatwa in Asawas. You said that the MPP presidential primaries is really getting interesting. But let's be honest, so far it's only Kennedy Japan and Kwame Japan who are presenting clear and concrete messages. The rest are throwing around slogans and political jargon. Sadly, the establishment and candidate seems to be losing ground because of a lack of a message there. Thank you very much for sending your message for the discussion segment. My guests have been Dr. Tutu Boayin, is a political marketing analyst, strategist, and expert, and Fred Agbenyo is the MP for Guan constituency. If you want to look smart and fashionable, visit any Woodin boutique nationwide today. Woodin offers an amazing collection of authentic African fabrics and ready-to-wear that come in beautiful designs and colors for men and women. With Woodin, you can get creative and versatile with your designs. Be confident and show off how truly African you are in Woodin. Go to a Woodin boutique near you today and choose from a variety of trendy products to complement your unique style. Follow Woodin Fashion on Facebook, Instagram at Woodin Fashion, and TikTok at Woodin_fashion there. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with some sports, and we have that interview that is coming up a lot later with Samuel Atachia, the former Member of Parliament and lawyer for Kwabena Dubois. Stay tuned in.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Let me see. She's never had a toothache before. There might be a cavity. Don't you use Pepsodent? We used to, but I'll try the new one. Ah, that's why. But doesn't every toothpaste give cavity protection? Not really. Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter repairs tiny invisible holes to give 10 times stronger teeth. Will you trust Pepsodent? Definitely.
Pepsodent, 10 times stronger teeth.
Use Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter.
Big Crystal Original. Get a pen you can rely on.
Kelvin, be a good boy. Focus on your studies and don't follow girls with longer life than their future.
Your son is under VIP security and I'm the head of domestic affairs. Johnnie, mami, don't be optical. Guys, we need to boss in the man. Ma, Johnnie, mami, what? Me control. Boy, me more feeling what?
Okay, senior, thank you.
Yeah, you think it's free? Major garage and cat here, sugar. Yeah, mami no nyase mwate. Survivor pack. Hey, that a beating. To make it to Bawku. Agent garage. Wait now. So you garage. For me. Oh yeah. Chocomas.
You have the choice to pick and choose. So you choco garage. Boys and girls, why I see?
What they going for here?
This advert is FDA approved.
From the heart of Ghana, a new movement is rising. The maiden edition of the Africa Tourism Renaissance Conference 2025 will bring together women, youth, SMEs, creative minds, investors, and the diaspora to transform Africa's tourism and adjacent industries. 2 days of powerful panels, interactive masterclasses, exhibitions, and networking. The event is under the theme Accelerating Africa's Development, the role of a robust tourism and tourism adjacent industry in catalyzing sustainable economic growth, human capital development, industries governance, and infrastructure. This event is slated for the 25th and 26th of September 2025 from 7 a.m. at the Accra Marriott Hotel. For inquiries, call 0535-139919. ATRC 2025, the Renaissance begins in Ghana. This event is organized by the 6th Africa Region Initiative in partnership with Accra Marriott Hotel and supported by TV3.
Welcome to the McLean Air Series. I am Joe McLean, your guide to the smoky, dusty, cloudy, choky side of life. Today we are visiting some places that pour with pollution. Let me mask up. Vehicle fumes have taken over the air, and soon this place will find it hard to breathe. According to the World Health Organization, as many as 28,000 people die every year in Ghana from air pollution. You live here, you breathe dirtier air than the whole of Accra. Look, let me show you. What an irony. No burning here. No one is truly safe. Even the posh areas are not spared from the smoke. Look, we can't ignore this. Do something. Call 057-972-4072 or send WhatsApp. You can also speak to your assembly so we all can breathe freely.
This message was brought to you by Infinity 970 with support from Breathe City.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.